That it's so thin in contrast to the visceral impression that many people have when they look up at the sky from the ground and it seems like a limitless expanse. It's a very thin shell, and we are now filling it up with the gaseous waste of our industrial civilization, using it as an open sewer, dumping 110 million tons of man-made global warming pollution into it every single day. There are many sources of the global warming pollution, including agriculture and transportation and the mismanagement of forests and others. But by far the most serious source of global warming pollution is our reliance on fossil fuels for still now 80% of all the energy that the world uses. Coal, oil, gas, which burn, all of which, when burned, puts CO2 into the environment. And all of that extra CO2 and other global warming pollution traps heat and causes the temperatures worldwide to go up steadily and quite dramatically. In fact, 16 of the 17 hottest years ever measured have been since the year 2001, and the hottest of all was last year. Second hottest the year before. The third hottest the year before that. We've seen these hotter temperatures in Southeast Asia. Last year, Thailand broke its all-time temperature record at 44.6 degrees Celsius, 112 degrees, 0.4 Fahrenheit. All-time national high temperature records were also broken in Cambodia and Laos. We have seen throughout the region the effects of heat stress and high temperatures, and we have seen, as elsewhere, the disruption of the water cycle, because on a global basis, when all of this heat energy goes into the oceans, it increases the evaporation off the oceans into the air. The warmer air holds more water. And when that air filled with water vapor comes over the land, we get these incredibly strong downpours and record floods. In Malaysia earlier this year, in Thailand earlier this year, thousands of villages damaged, many schools harmed. And the same extra heat that causes the extra water vapor to come off the oceans into the sky also pulls the moisture out of the soil and makes the droughts take hold more quickly, driving the droughts deeper and causing them to last longer. And we've seen some record droughts in Thailand last year, in Malaysia last year. This is a serious issue. The reinsurance companies have been measuring these climate-related extreme events, whether droughts or floods or fires or powerful storms. And as the ice melts from this extra heat, it raises sea level. We have seen that most of the top 10 cities at risk by population from sea level rise are in South Asia and Southeast Asia. Calcutta and Mumbai at the top of the list, but we have Guangzhou and Ho Chi Minh City, Bangkok, Rangoon, Haiphong, and others. Sea level is rising faster in Malaysia than the global average. And in Thailand, 6 million people are threatened by the sea level rise associated with the 2-degree temperature increase, and 15 million with the sea level rise associated with an increase of 4 degrees Celsius. We're also seeing an extinction crisis, and the biologists warn us that half of all land-based living species are at risk of extinction in this century because of the climate crisis and land conversions and other aspects of our collision with the natural environment. And when you add up these and other consequences of the climate crisis, the cost of our dependence on carbon-based fuels is just an unpayable cost. It's also the #1 threat to the global economy. We have to change our dependence on carbon-based fuels. And in any case, the answer to that first question, must we change, is clearly yes. What about the second question? Can we change? Well, here the news is very optimistic because we have the solutions at hand. And it's very exciting to see what's taking place around the world, including in Southeast Asia. For example, with wind energy, 17 years ago, the most optimistic projections available were that the world would reach 30 gigawatts of wind power by 2010. But instead, we exceeded that goal 16 times over. And we're now seeing, for example, in Thailand, a dramatic increase in the installation of wind power. Some locations in Malaysia are now being used as sites for very effective wind power and the exploitation of that resource. Solar is even more exciting. The best projections 15 years ago told us to expect 1 gigawatt of solar power to be installed each year by 2010. But when 2010 arrived, we beat that goal by 17 times over. And last year, we beat it 75 times over. Here, too, we're seeing a tremendous expansion in the use of solar energy in Southeast Asia, in Thailand. And interestingly, surprising to some, Malaysia is actually the world's third largest producer of solar photovoltaic cells and modules. We have seen also the deployment of solar in Thailand, and it's worth remembering on a global basis, the Earth gets more energy from the sun each hour than the entire global economy uses in a full year. When that is matched with much more affordable battery storage of electricity, the world changes dramatically. The increases in the last few years in battery capacity pale in comparison to the projections for the years ahead, from 2.5 gigawatts to 125 gigawatts. That's a very exciting development, as is the fact that virtually every automobile manufacturer in the entire world is switching to make electric vehicles. This is very exciting, and it helps to contribute to the answer to the second question. Can we change? Yes, we have the ability to change. Now, will we change? Well, the most powerful evidence that we will change is that 2 years ago this month, every single nation in the world signed up to an historic breakthrough agreement in Paris that commits the world to a net zero level of global warming pollution by mid-century or as soon thereafter as possible. This is truly exciting news. So join those who are using their voices to fight the climate crisis. We have to win the conversation on climate. All great social revolutions that advance the cause of humanity are initially won in conversations. Don't let climate denial go unchallenged. Be firm, don't be hostile, but make the case, because just as the civil rights movement and the anti-apartheid movement, the abolition movement and the women's suffrage movement were won in conversations throughout communities and countries and the entire world, almost the entire world now where women's suffrage is concerned, so must the climate crisis be won initially in conversation. Use your voice as a voice of reality. Insist upon an acceptance of the reality that we're seeing with our eyes, that the scientists are telling us about, and that Mother Nature is making very plain. Fight like your world depends on it, because actually your world does depend on it.
Over the last hour, we spent time getting to know some of the challenges faced by the people of Southeast Asia and the many ways people are taking action toward a more sustainable future. Remember, the most powerful warrior in the fight against the climate crisis is you. There are many ways we can make a difference in our politics, in our communities, in our businesses, and in our own lives. Go to 24hoursofreality.org to get your climate action kit and learn how you can give your own climate presentation and other ways you can be the voice of reality.
Everybody put your hands together, come on. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Noah. I'm from the United States.
My name is Zenny. I'm from Brazil.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम शिवानी है.
Hi, I'm Sina. I'm from Germany.
Finland, Korea,
Mexico.
Canada.
我来自中国
I'm from Russia.
Senegal.
UK
Taga ako sa Philippines.
My name is Hina. I'm from Japan. 私は現実の声です。
Et je suis une voix de la réalité.
Y soy la voz de la realidad.
and I am
A voice.
Voice.
and I am a voice of reality.
There is one world,
One planet and one.
one climate.
This is our future.
Our choice.
Our choice.
Our choice.
Our health. Now is the time.
Now we speak out.
Now we act.
Now we stand together.
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 We are
Now united.
Now united.
Now united.
We are now united, and we are a voice of reality.
Climate change is our biggest challenge yet. The world's getting warmer, seas are rising, and our weather is getting more and more dangerous. Our planet's future is in our hands. We must and can act and lead the fight to a clean energy future. All across the planet, climate reality leaders are doing just that. They are inspiring people to stand up and take action when it matters. You can join them, become a climate reality leader, and learn what it means to lead a world-changing movement. You'll train with former Vice President Al Gore and some of the best scientists and influencers out there. You'll learn the latest on climate science and solutions, and learn how to share it with a message that moves audiences to act. You want to make a difference? Become the world changer you know you can be. Become a climate reality leader.
We have the technology. We know the solutions. A global agreement is in place. It's now time to use your voice in the fight against the climate crisis. Join us for a journey around the globe as we focus on businesses, leaders, artists, and everyday people who are stepping up, speaking out, and fighting like our world depends on it. Because it does. This is 24 Hours of Reality. You too can be the voice of change, the voice of the future. Let your voice be the voice of reality.
Welcome, I am Ying-Qian Chen. Thank you for joining us for 24 Hours of Reality. Be the voice of reality. The signing of the Paris Agreement 2 years ago made it clear that people all over the world understand the urgency of the climate crisis, and our leaders need to stay committed to fight it. While real progress is being made, more must to be done, and faster, in order to limit the worst effect. And that is why we all must find our voice on the climate issue and fight for the action. Travel with us tonight as the former Vice President of the United States and the founder of the Climate Reality Project, Al Gore, leads the way around the globe. We will be focusing on the powerful ways activists are speaking up to empower and change the entire communities and places where still more climate voices need to be heard. For the next 14 hours, we will be live from our New York City home base, the Bridge at the Caltech, which is one of the most environmentally friendly and energy-efficient campuses in the world. We will be exploring the solutions each region has at hand and challenges they face, and how we can be a voice of reality to succeed in ensuring a sustainable future. For the next hour, we will continue our journey by hearing from some of the powerful climate voices in China. 欢迎收看全球气候节目《限时24小时》，我是主持人陈英谦。在接下来的1个小时内呢，我们将会从美国纽约的现场为您直播，连线全球各路嘉宾，向您介绍中国作为能源消费和碳排放大国，在应对气候变化时所推行的中国方案。首先，我们要请出的是在应对气候危机和环境保护教育方面都有着突出成就的一位领军性的人物，那就是气候现实计划的创办者兼主席，美国的前副总统戈尔先生。
谢谢。
Hi, Mr. Gore.
Hi, thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you. And may I apologize to our Chinese audience for speaking in English. I want to set the stage for this discussion for the next hour about China's role in the climate crisis, the impacts China is feeling now, and the solutions that China is helping to develop and helping to spread around the world. I always begin by a reference to what is at stake. We are colliding with the ecological system of the Earth, and we can't avoid that, but it is important to focus on three questions. Must we change? Can we change? And will we change? And when we start with that important first question, must we change, it's important to look at the true nature of the atmosphere. Sometimes when you look up at the sky from the ground on a clear day, it seems like the sky reaches on limitlessly, but it's actually an extremely thin shell of atmosphere surrounding the planet, and we're using that as the open sewer for our industrial civilization. We are changing it by putting 110 million tons of heat-trapping man-made global warming pollution into the atmosphere every single day. There are many sources of this global warming pollution, including agriculture and the burning of cropland, forest mismanagement, mining, etc. But by far the most serious source and serious threat is the burning of fossil fuels, coal, oil, and gas, because when it's burned, fossil fuel puts enormous amounts of CO2 into the atmosphere. And the accumulation of this global warming pollution is trapping heat and causing global temperatures to go up at an incredibly rapid rate. In fact, 16 of the 17 hottest years ever measured with instruments have been since 2001. The hottest of all was last year, the second hottest the year before, the third hottest the year before that. So the pattern is really pretty clear. Shanghai reached a new high temperature record for Shanghai this past summer with incredibly hot temperatures. But on a global basis, we're seeing more than 90% of all this extra heat energy that's trapped go into the oceans and down to the depths of the ocean. Half of this increase has occurred in just the last 20 years. And when the oceans get warmer, it makes the ocean-based storms much warmer, much stronger. Super Typhoon Moranti, for example, last year hit China as the strongest tropical cyclone of 2016. And the warmer oceans also means that the water cycle is being disrupted, because much more water vapor comes off the warmer oceans into the sky. The warmer air holds more water vapor. For each 1 degree increase, there's a 7% increase in the moisture content of the air. Average humidity has gone up worldwide by 5% in just the last 30 years. And when that moisture-laden air comes over the land, we get these rain bombs, as they're now calling them, these enormous downpours and the consequent flooding events like the one that hit Guangzhou earlier this year with 524 millimeters of rain in 24 hours, more than 20.5 inches of rain. That same extra heat that disrupts the water cycle with more water vapor coming from the oceans also pulls moisture out of the soil and makes the droughts longer and deeper. And this is having a harsh consequence. And China is particularly vulnerable to this. Right now, in major parts of Inner Mongolia, the worst drought on record. The reinsurance companies around the world are tracking all of these climate-related extreme events, and the trend is very troubling. They match what the scientists predicted would happen. And this same extra heat is also, of course, melting the ice, and most significantly in Greenland and in Antarctica, where the largest amounts of land-based ice are found. And when the ice melts more rapidly, sea level increases more rapidly. Guangzhou and Shanghai are on the top 10 list for cities at risk when measured by assets at risk. They're also on the list when You look at population at risk. And in China, overall, with only a 2-degree Celsius increase, 64 million people are threatened by sea level rise. If the temperatures were to go up 4 degrees, 145 million people in China would be threatened by sea level rise. It's also a medical emergency, according to scientists and doctors around the world. We're seeing air pollution as the major health threat in many areas of the world, an incredible death rate. And in fact, in northern China, life expectancy has gone down 5.5 years because of the air pollution. The pollution index in Beijing, as measured a few years ago, reached a level described by the Shanghai Academy of Social Sciences as near a level that's no longer livable for human beings. This will come as no surprise to many of those of you in China listening to this, because it's been a constant topic of discussion. Another health threat is the spread of tropical diseases to higher latitudes. Air travel is one of the principal reasons for this, but the changing climate conditions expands the range of mosquitoes and ticks and other so-called vectors that carry these tropical diseases. And the changing climate changes the areas where these diseases can take root and become endemic. We also face an extinction crisis. The biologists warn us that up to half of all the living species with which we share this planet are at risk of extinction. This refers to the land-based species, but the same number applies to species in the oceans. So when you add all of these consequences up, and others besides, such as ocean acidification and infrastructure damage and some of the other factors on the list, and then you look at the fact that it's also the #1 threat to the global economy, clearly the answer to that first question, must we change, is yes. So what about the second question? Can we change? Well, thankfully, the answer to this question is also yes. We have the solutions at hand, and China has been taking the lead in developing many of them. Look at the projections just 17 years ago for what would happen with worldwide wind capacity by 2010. 30 gigawatts they predicted, but we beat that prediction by 16 times over. Look at the exponential increase for wind energy in China. Already, China's wind capacity is double that of the United States and is higher than the level in the European Union. It's a remarkable record. Now, when you look at solar, it's an even more dramatic story. 20 years ago, the best predictions were that China would possibly install 500 megawatts of solar by the year 2020. Well, actually, you didn't have to wait that long because China reached almost double that by 2010, and it exceeded it 100 times over by last year. And the projection now is that by 2020, it will exceed that mark by 286 times over. That is incredible. And it is an example of the determination and leadership that China has been showing. The exponential curve for the installation of solar energy in China is really quite dramatic. Here's the largest single solar plant in the entire world, in the Tingir Desert in China. On a global basis, we get more energy from the sun in 1 hour than the entire global economy uses in a full year. The energy storage capacity has already expanded and is due to expand quite dramatically. LED lighting, much more efficient, taking over the market for lighting. All of these countries have pledged to phase out the internal combustion engine and switch to electric vehicles in the future. China says it will in the near future. So the answer to the second question, can we change, is yes. Will we change? Well, in Paris, thanks to the leadership of China and the United States, we reached an historic breakthrough. And President Xi Jinping told the world tackling climate change is a shared mission for humankind. Join those who are using their voice to fight the climate crisis. Use your voice as a voice of reality and fight like your world depends on it, because your world does depend on it.
Thank you, Mr. Gore, for sharing with us the inspiring words and the insights of climate change. Then we will turn to our camera to social media Zoom. 现在呢，我们就要请出在社交媒体区的吴建豪，跟我们一起分享一下现在大家在网络上都谈了一些什么。
Welcome back to the 24-hour of reality social media corner. I'm Caleb Worthy.
And I'm Vanessa Wu Jianhao. Hello， 大家好。今天呢，我们要跟你们分享的就是我们其实虽然有在微博上可以看得到你们，可是我们希望可以跟你们互动。那所以今天呢，如果你们现在看的话，是有我的微博在这里，可以发讯息，然后你打一个 hashtag， 然后就是限时24小时的话呢，你泼上去，我看到你们的 hashtag， 我就会去找你们，然后陪你们聊天，然后把你们的发文的时候会放在电视上，因为我们希望听你的声音，知道你在想什么看法，对于我们现在整个气候变化的这个事情是非常重要。我们非常开心能够有你们来 ，right?
Absolutely. And looking at some of the posts that we've had up so far,
right?
We're having some amazing social media interactions throughout this broadcast. It's really incredible to see all of the amazing responses on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And the hashtag is 24 hours of reality.
没错。
So let's check out some of these. We got one who is a huge Shawn Mendes fan.
Wow.
And of course, we all are. He's unbelievable. She was enjoying watching him on the show. Also want to check this one out as well.
This one says, "Thank you, Niall, for using your fame and this platform to draw attention to the climate change." OK， 这个其实非常特别的，因为他是在说所有的歌手们、所有的艺人朋友们，他们都用他们的这个能力，然后站在这边发挥，然后宣布让大家知道说，气候变化有多么重要。那所以我们现在呢，就是要让你们也知道，你们也可以用你们的微博，你们也可以用你们任何的平台去把你的声音大声喊出来，让大家知道说这个事情必须要现在去改变。所以 social media, follow us, come join us. We got Twitter, Facebook, Weibo, Instagram, anything. Just come and have some fun with us.
And the hashtag is 24 hours of reality. And if you use that post on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, there's a good chance you could end up on this wall and be a part of our broadcast.
Like this cat.
Just like that cat.
Right there.
接下来我们要请出的一位嘉宾呢，他担任的是中国国家应对气候变化战略研究和国际合作中心的主任，也是中国可再生能源协会的一名重要成员李俊峰先生。现在呢，我们就把时间留给在北京现场的李主任和傅小田。小田 ，please take over your time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Phoenix International Media Center. This is Xiao Tian from Beijing. As you can see, this building is covered by 1,004 frames of glasses, ultra whites, which makes it one of the most environmentally friendly architecture in Beijing. 那么现在在我身边的是我们的中国应对气候变化战略研究和国际合作中心的首位主任李俊峰先生。李先生，欢迎您。
大家好。
那您呢是刚刚取得了2017年的扎耶德未来能源奖，以表彰您在提升中国国民环保意识、推广绿色清洁能源方面的意识所做的贡献。那首先，请您跟我们谈一下这次获奖的经历好吗？
因为这次扎耶德未来能源终身成就奖，它是授给全球在清洁能源的发展和能源转型中间做出突出贡献的人。这件事情它并不是授给我个人的，它是授给中国清洁能源的发展。近十几年来，中国的清洁能源发展，特别是可再生能源发展，取得了举世瞩目的这种成就。我们2004年的时候，我们几乎是0，那么现在我们成了全球第1。包括太阳能、风能、水电等等，我们都是取得了这个骄人的这种成就。所以说，这次我获这个奖，应该是对中国清洁能源发展成就的一种鼓励或者一种奖励。
当然，无论如何要祝贺您。那么下一步， 我们的发展重点应该在哪里呢？
大家都知道，就刚刚闭幕的19大提出了一个中国进入一个新的时代建设，并且2035年要初步现代化，2050年全面现代化。新时代对能源的要求有一个更高的一个目标，就是说我们的清洁能源还不能满足我们人民的需要，这是我们的重要的一个短板。我们在发展中间面临的不平衡、不充分的问题，在能源里面更加突出。就中国要逐步的改变以煤为主这种能源结构，大力的发展清洁能源。所以习总书记在讲话中把清洁放在第一位，清洁、低碳、安全、高效，这是中国的一个能源的发展方针。所以说，我们现在要解决问题，要把中国的清洁能源的比例大幅度的提高上去，而不是一星半点。
那首先我想回到还是这个奖项啊，因为这个奖项的话呢，您的一个获奖理由就是您是提高了中国国民在环保这方面的意识。那您首先投身这个事业的时候，应该是在30多年前了，是吗？那么那个时候您所感知到的中国人民对环保的意识和现在比起来有什么不同？
那个时候就是我们还没有解决温饱问题。我工作的时候应该在35年前，我们不用经济数据说话，用能源数据说话。那个时候中国的人均用电量只有200千瓦时，我们现在多少？我们4500千瓦时，涨了20多倍。在那个时代，就是我们对环境的要求肯定没有这么高，因为我们还没有解决温饱问题。大家就说我不管干净还是不干净，我先满足需要。说中国有句话，我宁可毒死，不能饿死。有这样的一种观念，但是我们现在不一样了。现在我们进入了一个中等是偏高的发展中国家的这种收入水平，我们的能源消费已经超过了全球的平均水平，所以说我们清洁化就上到了一个新的议事日程了，就是我们必须跟上世界潮流，
要改变能源结构。
对。
那么要改变能源结构，一个是民间的努力，一个是政府的努力。那我们现在先来看一下政府方面可以做哪方面的努力呢？我
们政府方面已经做了很多的努力。首先，中国在2015年已经颁布了可再生能源法，这部法律，为清洁能的发展奠定了一个重要的基础。同时呢，我们设计了一个很重要的一个制度，就是全民分摊的制度，就是每一个消费者的电价里面征收1.9分钱来扶持我们清洁能的发展。通过这个措施，也提高了全民的关于环保的一种意识。特别是从今年开始，习总书记提出了关于转变发展方式，就倡导绿色发展方式、绿色生活方式的问题，就让生活更加精致起来。这样呢，我们让全国人民认识到，环境保护、发展清洁能源不是政府一家的责任，是我们每一个消费者的责任。我们都去消费清洁能源了，我们的能源的供应才真正的变得清洁起来。
非常好。那我们看到中国呢是计划在2020年以前啊，要投资超过2.5万亿元，也就是约合3590亿美元的资金啊，用以支持可再生能源发电产业的发展。那么要实现这一目标的框架是怎样的？可以告诉我们吗？
大体是这样，就是我们国家发改委和国家能源局颁布了2030年能源消费和能源生产革命的这种战略规划。我们提出了3个阶段的目标，一个是到2020年，我们的非化能比例要提高到15%，到2030年我们提高到20%以上，到2050年我们提高到50%左右。同时在发电这个角度，就到2030年，我们50%的电力要来自于清洁电力；到2050年，我们差不多有75%到80%的电力来自于清洁电力。所以这点投资来说呢，是必须的。
那么这个比例不好意思，我想插一下，这个比例跟在那个时间的世界其他大国相比是怎么样一个水平呢？
我们大致到2050年的时候，和大部分的发达国家已经相一致了，就是包括日本、包括欧盟、包括美国在内，基本上都是提的到2050年80%的电力来自于可再生能源的，包括能源革命的倡导国家就德国。 也不过如此。说中国那个时候也是一个，和中国进入一个发达国家的这种行列是相适应的。
那么李先生能不能再为我们介绍一下这个所谓的碳交易系统是怎么样一个存在？现在在中国它是怎么样一个处境和一个接受程度？
碳交易它是中国用于推动低碳发展的一个重要的一种市场手段。大家都知道，中国利用政府的推动、行政力量来推动各种各样的发展事业，是我们有很成熟的经验。但是用市场手段来解决环境问题，我们还是进行了一个尝试。那么碳市场的建立，就是用市场手段来推动节能减排的一种尝试。说系统在紧锣密鼓地做一些筹备和准备工作。我们已经进行了7个省市的成功的试点。所以说呢，我们把它推向全国，还是有着
世界各地应对气候变化的一些新的政策和新的举措。那么这些故事的主人公呢，他可能是个人，也可能是群体，他们会从不同的角度，比如个体、企业或者是社区的层面上来采取行动，用于预防和减缓气候变化，并且产生了一些实质性的成果。比如说，在上海就有一位年轻的女性企业家，她将目光锁定在了清洁能源的开发上。让我们一起来听一听她的故事。
Around the world, everyday people are stepping up, speaking out and fighting the climate crisis like our world depends on it. Because it does. Every voice makes a difference. These are the voices of change, the voices of the future, the voices of reality.
联盛2013年成立，我们在过去的5年当中，在中国已经建成了几十座光伏系统。那么未来呢，我们希望能够在更多的国家去建造这样一个绿色系统，能够提供更多的绿色能源。我们现在是在上海市中心，这里是世贸商城，因为这个电站是上海第一个商业屋顶上面造成的一个绿色能源发电系统，接供给在底下的户用的客户，直接会供电给他们。联盛建造的这个世贸商城电站呢，全年的发电量是50多万度电。那么经过7年的一个留学的一个生涯呢，也是在剑桥、牛津、伦敦。
我们是在牛津读大学的时候认识的。李莎看起来就是比我们同学都会要更性格上更独立、更成熟的感觉。然后她那个时候就突然有一天跟我讲说：“哎，我现在有接触到一个新的行业。”
那时候在欧洲已经有非常多的新能源的企业，有非常多的绿色能源已经开始了。刚开始的时候是非常困难的，因为其实对于整个行业的话是一个空白。我也是寻找到一些能够志同道合的同事，一个个去说服他们。
伊莎她非常年轻啊，但是在这个年轻的背后呢，她经验非常丰富。
在一个完全没有人从事做过的事情，她要做像一个先驱者一样去做。
还有为了环保的这样一种初心，她非常坚持。虽然公司还是中型的体量，但在国际上有很好的 footprint， 在很多地方。
对于我们来说，海外的拓展的话，其实速度也是相对来说是比较快的。包括现在在印度已经开展的工作，印度、澳大利亚、荷兰、日本。我们从成立初期到现在建造的绿色能源系统，已经直接或者间接的供给了1000多万户居民。国际公司他们已经承诺未来的电，他们要使用100%的清洁能源。那么我们针对娃哈哈的集团，分布于在40多个城市，在它40多个城市的厂房屋顶上面，我们建立我们的绿色能源系统。
我们合肥娃哈哈饮料有限公司呢，主要有4个车间，主要的话是一个是果蔬饮料、乳饮料，以及这个碳酸饮料，以及这个纯净水。 那我们在做这个社会责任感也比较强嘛。
那么我们发出来的所有的绿色的电力，全都是娃哈哈本身底下的这个公司完全消纳掉。我们供给它的电力是它现在使用的电力的90%的一个成本，所以在它的电力成本上，他们节约了10%。
作为企业来讲，如果用这个洁净能源的话，对本身企业也是也非常有好多的好处的。
所以我们也跟上了时代和技术发展的节奏。
这个上面就是说，我们现在所有的电站都是会在上面排列。对于研发这一块的话，我还是花了比较多的精力在这一块上面。那么就举一个例子，就像我们去年年底开发的一个新的平台，我们去保障它。2个数据来看的话，其实还是比较好的整个的一个发电量跟预计的话还是非常相似的。
对，我们有自主开发的这样一个派单的这样一个平台，
中国将会成为世界新能源革命的一个领导者，不光在中国国内，而且在世界的范围内。
我们要减少二氧化碳的一个排放。从公司成立到现在的话，我们差不多也是减碳了大概140万吨的这个减排量吧。作为一个企业家来说，我觉得回馈社会也是我们的责任之一吧。因为我们的梦想就是让这个地球更加的清洁，我们的梦想就是能够让我们的清洁的能源能够福利到更多的人。
These are the voices of change, the voices of the future, the voices of reality.
《接下来我们要请出的是在北京市环保局大气污染综合治理协调处担任副处长的刘鑫先生。他正在美国汉弗莱项目做访问学者，将会从加利福尼亚州参与到我们的节目当中。刘鑫先生您好。您曾经参与到第29届北京奥运会以及北京 APEC 会议当中一系列治理空气的策略以及模型的制定当中，产生了非常好的效果，也成为了很多城市争相效仿的一个对象，以及对于空气治理的一个衡量标准。那么您当时采取了哪些措施？这些措施能不能在现在继续得到一个延续呢？
是这样的。北京市一直都很关注大气污染防治工作，因为我们意识到，从98年就意识到，北京市的地理气象条件不太适合于空气污染的扩散北京的北面和西面3面环山，当有西南风或者东南风输送的时候，周边的污染物会在北京积累这个所以说呢，就是说区域污染传输对北京的影响是比较明显的。那么从00年开始呢，环保部和北京呢，会同周边省市，包括天津、河北、山西、内蒙和山东，组织清华、北大以及中科院大气所等科研单位，共同制定并且实施了第29届奥运会空气质量保障的这么一个工作方案。那么在奥运会之前呢，实施了常态治理减排措施，包括燃煤、工业、机动车和扬尘。那么在奥运会期间呢，实施了一些临时的停产、限产和减排措施。那么发挥了积极的效益。那么奥运会期间实现了空气质量天天达标，空气中的这种各种污染物的浓度平均同比前一年呢下降了50%以上，也就是说我们庄严的兑现了就是申奥时的环保承诺，就是奥运会之间要实现空气质量的天天达标这是这个奥运会期间。那么就是奥运会之后呢，我们也是认真的总结了就是奥运的成功的经验。我们认为呢，就是说要从这个就是大气污染防治区域联防联控上要来入手。那么在13年的时候呢，经国家批准北京市牵头，会同天津、河北、山西、内蒙、山东 以及国家环保部和等7个部委，共同成立了京津冀及周边地区大气污染防治协作小组。那么这个协作小组呢，办公室设在环保局啊，具体的业务呢，主要是由我们处来承担，主要是按照责任共担、信息共享、协商统筹、联防联控的这个原则来开展大气污染防治协作工作。那么在过去的几年中，我们陆续的制定和实施了一系列的大气污染防治协作工作，也建立并且完善了统一规划、统一标准、统一治理设施啊、统一监测、统一的预警应急和减排等等相关一系列的这种机制啊，发挥了积极的效应，区域的空气质量也得到了持续的改善。那么包括就是14年 APEC 会议期间，我们又制定实施了 APEC 的空气质量保障方案。那么当时也正值就是秋冬季节转换，采暖季带来的就是污染排放的增加的这么一个不利的影响，我们也着重加强了区域的重污染应急和预警会商等等工作机制啊，有效地保障了 APEC 会议期间的空气质量啊。主持人。
刚刚您也提到了，2013年的时候，中国国务院提出了一项大气污染防治行动计划。您能跟我们介绍一下，这其中有10条关于大气方面的措施，目前都进展到了哪一步了？有达成哪些初步的效果吗？
是这样的，我觉得就是13年的大气10条啊，每个中国人都很关注。这么说就是。我觉得截止到现在，我们认为就是大气10条可以圆满的完成啊。有一些数据可以跟大家来分享。截止到去年，全国我们当时提出的大气10条的目标是说，13年到17年全国的这个空气质量要持续的好转。那么京津冀、长三角和珠三角3个重点的地区空气质量要明显的改善。那么现在来看呢，16年的数据是这么样的，就是全国338个地级以上的城市啊，我们是以拿PM10来考量，那么他们的PM10的浓度呢，同比13年下降了15%。那么2016年京津冀、长三角、珠三角 PM2.5的浓度同比2013年分别下降了32%、31%和33%啊，都超出了就是当时。大气10条设定的这个空气质量改善的目标25%以上，所以说就是应该说大气10条的各项任务都已经能够，我们认为能够圆满的完成。那么今年1月份到11月份呢，那么就是各个地区的空气质量呢仍然在持续的改善啊。据我了解，就是以京津冀为例吧，京津冀今年1月到11月PM2.5浓度。同比2013年下降了38%，应该远远超出了就是这个当时设定的大气10条的这个改善的目标。从北京来说呢，北京我们一直十分重视大气污染防治工作。北京市2016年 PM2.5的浓度是73微克，比12年下降了23.7%。那么其他污染物的浓度呢，也在同步的改善。那么我们还想跟大家分享一组数据，就是说北京市从1998年开始持续的实施大气污染防治各项专项的阶段性措施清洁空气行动计划等等等等。那么就是在经济社会快速发展的同时，GDP 这么18年来增长了8.7倍，机动车的总量增长了3倍，人口增长了74%，能源消费增长了80%，在这么多的经济社会增长的这么飞速发展的这么一个情况下，我们的空气质量得以持续的改善，我觉得是非常的难得的。那么我们的PM2.5浓度16年比13年下降了23.7%，因为是12年我们才开始监测。那么其他的污染物浓度，二氧化硫18年来下降了92%啊。16年的浓度是10微克，1998年的浓度是120微克。那么 PM10下降了50%，氮氧化物下降了35%，这都是一个非常巨大的成就。我再想分享一组数据，就是说， 美国，我知道美国的就是从80年代1980年到2013年33年，平均污染物浓度下降了62%，换算过来就是说，平均每年这个污染物的浓度下降1.5%左右，1.5%不超过2%。但是咱们的国家呢，4年的时间，4、5年的时间，PM2.5浓度下降了30%以上。北京市也是一样，就是说平均每年的下降的幅度应该在5%到6%，所以这是一个非常了不起的成就，尤其是我们还是一个发展中国家啊。当然，美国就是说它的这么长时间来持续的改善也非常不容易，但是我们作为一个发展中国家啊，我们能够就是说在很短的时间内取得这么一个成就，我觉得是非常的不容易，我也感到非常的自豪。
是的，我们就以北京为例啊，可以看到今年3月的时候，北京最后一座大型的燃煤电厂就已经宣布停运了，这也意味着整个北京市已经步入到了一个无煤化的时代。那您认为这一种产业转型，从这个传统煤电业转入到这样一个清洁能源的产业，对于我们治理空气会有什么样子的帮助和效果？
是这样的，就是我们常说就是。怎么说呢？燃煤是我们环保人的一个看家本领，就是治理燃煤污染。从1998年以来，我们最拿手的就是治理燃煤。那么为什么这么说呢？燃煤它体现的是一个能源结构的一个问题，就是说它排放的特征污染物不仅有二氧化硫、氮氧化物，还有很多的烟粉尘。它不仅排放就是气态污染物，这些气态污染物在空气中经过化学转化，还可以产生颗粒物啊，有1次的颗粒物，也有2次的颗粒物。所以这是我们为什么要控制燃煤污染啊？我们从1998年来开始治理燃煤污染，到13年之前，我们已经淘汰了，从北京来说，已经淘汰了1.6万台燃煤锅炉，4.4万台茶炉大灶。那么13年到17年呢，我们继续开展就是燃煤污染治理工作，我们新建了4座燃气热电电厂，来替代了原有的就是4座燃煤的热电厂。第二呢，就是说我们就是继续淘汰燃煤锅炉，5年时间淘汰了3.9万正吨燃煤锅炉。现在来看，就是城6区，包括通州区，基本上已经没有燃煤锅炉了。再有呢，就是再从更低矮的面源呢，就是说农村和平房地区的就是这个散煤的污染。这个污染呢，是我们的原来一个顽疾。那么现在看来呢，就是说我们通过这几年的实施，5年的时间，减少了80万户通过煤改气、煤改电各种方式吧，减少了80万户的这个原煤散烧。应该说呢，就是说核心地区这个原煤散烧呢已经消失了啊。所以说，通过这么多的这个措施的实施，我们二氧化硫的这个就是燃煤污染的二氧化硫的这个特征污染物的浓度，我刚才已经讲到了，就是说它有一个非常明显的下降。作为一个北方的一个城市啊，我们就是说全年还要用到很多能源，在冬季要供暖的一个城市，那么它的这个二氧化硫的浓度能够达到个位数，就是今年的1到11月份，二氧化硫的浓度只有8微克，8微克每立方米。这个水平是什么水平呢？就相当于是我们南方沿海城市，就是空气就是扩散条件非常良好，都不使用燃煤的这么一个城市的这个排放水平。
好的，非常感谢。
所以就是说我们的这个
好，非常感谢刘鑫先生从加利福尼亚州参与到我们的节目当中。现在越来越多的人们开始愿意为了保护气候变化贡献出自己的一己之力，愿意为地球发声。美国前副总统格尔先生创办了气候现实领袖的训练营，在这里云集了来自政府、商界、学术界和非政府组织的专家，为了参与培训的人们提供一个探讨和学习、前沿行动的机会。
我主要研究这个少数民族的传统知识如何应对气候变化。气候危机对这些传统社会是一个重大的问题，那么对于整个人类来说呢，也是一个重大的问题。去年就来到了深圳，参加了这个阿尔戈尔总统的气候变化现实领袖的培训营。 那么通过这次培训呢，我看到气候变化在全球范围内对不同生态系统造成的影响，所以呢，这些触动是非常深的，使我了解了在整个全球范围内呢，气候变化对人类的生活、对自然的生态系统造成的影响是越来越大的。那么我在这个云南西北部，主要是藏族居住的地区，一直从事这个生物多样性这个环境保护这个工作。东喜马拉雅的这个藏族，气候变化影响了他们整个生态环境。那么对于藏族，对于其他少数民族而言呢，气候变化是因为人类的一些不当的行为，它触怒了他们的神山，触怒了影响气候变化的神灵。所以呢，从这个角度来说呢，这些传统民族社会，他也认为气候变化是人为因素的一个影响，气候变化实际上是受到人类行为的影响。那么这时候我发现，通过我有一个项目，就是研究神山信仰和气候变化的，通过6年的观察，仪式是和气候有关系的，但是实际上气候变化在我们更深层次的领域，它影响着包括土著民传统社会他们的日常生活、传统生计，更深层次的影响着人类的文化文明。好，这个呢就是我们当地的一个神山，在云南西北部的名字呢叫卡瓦戈波。那我们可以通过这个神山的照片来观察它的这个冰川积雪，那么和100年前传教士来这里拍的照片呢发生了大的变化。这些呢就是当地的藏传佛教寺院红坡寺的活佛和僧人，他们呢举行一些和神山相关的这种仪式，以祈求有更好的天气、气候环境来进行农业生产。那么，这是当地的村民，他们会跑到神山顶上去圣湖旁边，向圣湖祈祷雨水，因为他们传说，如果你把石头扔进这个湖里面，那么当地的这个气候就开始下雨下雪。那我们呢，通过气候变化的项目呢，成立了这个气候变化的学校，支持当地的村民来发展他们的庭院经济种植。最后呢，我们呢通过一些种植，比如说在神山上恢复植被，恢复当地的生态环境，来进行一些保护性种植，包括树木，包括药材。那在局部呢改善当地的小气候环境。所以呢，在不同区域，我们要根据当地的实际情况，来制定应对气候变化的策略和方式。那么最简单而言，如果你是个普通人，那么从保护身边的自然环境开始，使用一些可以再生的一些这种生活产品。不要尽量少的制造垃圾减少你的碳足迹，这是对个人而言。如果你有平台，有这个能力做一些推广或者帮助其他人认识应对气候变化的活动，我觉得这个是必须的，因为我们只有一个气候环境，我们只有一个地球，然后气候变化对所有人都会产生影响，对你的后代也会产生影响，所以在应对气候变化的过程中，每个人都是责无旁贷的。
现在让我们镜头再次转到社交媒体中心，请出吴建豪给我们分享一下现在网友们都讨论了一些什么。
Hello， 观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎回来收看我们这一段的最精彩的一个部分，就是要让大家知道说你们可以怎么样可以跟我们一起互动在网络上。所以除了 Facebook、Twitter 跟 Instagram 以外呢，其实我现在呼吁大家上，你们也可以去上你们的微博。今天我们看微博上，现在就是 Gem 邓紫棋，她已经发了一个微博，发了一篇微博说这个每一个人存在这个世界上都有一个使命，就是要让这个世界变得更好，更保护它。 对不对？
懂
不懂？
对，
差不多。Anyways， Caleb Worthy 是我们今天的新朋友，然后他这次帮我了很多，然后我们要看 What's next? What Twitter world is saying. So let's move to Twitter world right now, and thank you for the Weibo post.
This great post.
Oh, there we go.
From Osaka. Hey, look at those two guys.
Hey, this is a good-looking guy.
Hey, not bad, not bad. Well, thank you so much for checking it out.
Yeah.
It means the world to us. Now, we have someone. Her name is Kelly Kerr, and she has been up for the entire 10 hours of the broadcast. Apparently, the cat did not last the entire 10 hours, though.
No,
but thank you so much. We've also been up for the whole time. Now, if you have been staying up and watched the entire broadcast, please let us know and continue to let us know because we are all in this together.
Yeah.
We also have some great stuff coming from some other people around the world. And if you have anything you want to say, if you want to talk about why you got involved in the environmental movement, if you want to talk about why you're watching, please use the hashtag 24hoursofreality.
Very important.
Vanessa, this is your final piece with us for now. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, because you guys don't want me here anymore.
That is not true. That is not true.
He was like, this guy, he's taking the spotlight.
That's not true. That's not true at all. No, you've done such an amazing job, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, guys.
And if you can come back, we would love that.
I will definitely see. I'm going to check my schedule and, call me.
Sounds good, man.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
好的，感谢吴建豪和卡伦与我们分享网友们精彩的评论。那么接下来呢，我们再把现场交给在北京直播厅的付小田。
Hello again. This is Xiao Tian from Phoenix International Media Center, Beijing, China. Wherever you are, whoever you may be, there's one thing we are just alike. At this moment and all moments of our existence, we are not at rest. We are on a journey together on this planet. 这是来自中国北京凤凰国际传媒中心的呼吁。同一个地球，同一个家园，同一个梦想。
OK， 感谢小田从北京给我们带来的想法。那么 over the last few hours, we've spent time getting to know some of the most important challenges the climate crisis has brought to China, and the many ways people are taking action towards a more sustainable future. Remember, the most powerful voice in the fight against the climate crisis is yours. There are many ways we can make help in our communities, in our business, and in our own lives. Even learning positive ways to discuss the issues with friends and families can create a huge difference. Go to 24hoursofreality.org to get your climate action kit and learn more about how you can be the voice of reality. 感谢您收看我们从纽约现场为您直播的全球气候节目《限时24小时》。节目的结尾呢，我们邀请您一同欣赏创作型歌手邓紫棋带来的《存在》。感谢您的收看，再会。
大家可以一起上屏幕后面有这个网址，发出来了没有？我讲一次 ，24hoursofreality.org 这个网页，然后大家一起去关注一下，到底我们还可以做些什么去保护我们的这个世界，一起为世界发声，好不好？其实我觉得我们每一个人存在这个地球上，就是有一份使命。好好的去爱，好好的去保护这个世界。送给你们下一首歌《存在》。多少人候着，却困在原地；多少人笑着，却如同死去。多少人爱着，却好似分离；多少人笑着。
充满泪滴。谁知道我们该去向何处？谁明白生命已变为何物？是否找个借口继续过活？或是勇敢前行，保持愤怒？我该如何存在？多少次荣耀，却跟着耻辱；多少次狂喜，却备受痛楚；多少次幸福，却陷入倒角；多少次忘记，却失魂落魄。谁知道我们该看向何处？谁明白曾经已变为何物？是否找个借口，就随风出的？或是勇敢前行，想走到老，我该如何存谁知道我们该去向何处？谁明白生命已变为何物？是否找个借口，就继续过活？或是勇敢前行，保持愤怒？我该如何存在？
Hi, I'm Sammy Chang. It doesn't matter where you live. The climate crisis is affecting us all. Our world now depends on us. Join me at 24hoursofreality.organization today. Together, we can fight the climate crisis. Together, we are the voice of reality.
Climate change is our biggest challenge yet. The world's getting warmer, seas are rising, and our weather is getting more and more dangerous. Our planet's future is in our hands. We must and can act and lead the fight to a clean energy future. All across the planet, climate reality leaders are doing just that. They are inspiring people to stand up and take action when it matters. You can join them, become a climate reality leader, and learn what it means to lead a world-changing movement. You'll train with former Vice President Al Gore and some of the best scientists and influencers out there. You'll learn the latest on climate science and solutions, and learn how to share it with a message that moves audiences to act. You want to make a difference? Become the world changer you know you can be. Become a climate reality leader.
technology. We know the solutions. A global agreement is in place. It's now time to use your voice in the fight against the climate crisis. Join us for a journey around the globe as we focus on businesses, leaders, artists, and everyday people who are stepping up, speaking out, and fighting like our world depends on it. Because it does. This is 24 Hours of Reality. You too can be the voice of change, the voice of the future. Let your voice be the voice of reality.
Welcome, I'm Namrata Brar. Thank you for joining us for 24 Hours of Reality. Be the voice of reality. The signing of the Paris Agreement 2 years ago made it clear people all over the world understand the urgency of the climate crisis, and our leaders need to stay committed to fighting it. While real progress is being made, more must be done and faster in order to limit the worst effects. That is why we all must find our voice on the climate issue and fight for action. Travel with us tonight is former Vice President of the United States and the founder of the Climate Reality Project, Al Gore, leads the way around the globe. We'll be focusing on the powerful ways activists are speaking up to empower and change entire communities and places where still more climate voices need to be heard. For the next 13 hours, we'll be live from our New York City home base, the Bridge at Cornell Tech, which is one of the most environmentally friendly and energy-efficient campuses in the world. We'll explore the solutions each region has at hand, the challenges they face, and how we all can be a voice of reality to succeed in ensuring a sustainable future. For the next hour, we'll continue our journey by hearing from some of the powerful climate voices in India. And now, please join me in welcoming the man whose voice continues to lead the charge in educating and inspiring action on the climate crisis. The founder and chairman of the Climate Reality Project, former U.S. Vice President Al Gore.
Thank you so much, Namrata.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Incredible passion and commitment.
Well, you're very kind, and I'm very excited to focus on India throughout this hour. I've spent a lot of time there. We've done trainings there. And at the Paris Agreement, India played the key role. I want to start by setting the stage, as always, by referring to what is at stake, our common home, the Earth, our only home. And I want to remind us of the three important questions. Must we change? Can we change? And will we change? And the answers to this first question, must we change, are now really coming from Mother Nature as well as the scientists. And one reason is that the sky, shown here in this picture from the space station, is a bit different from the visceral impression we have when we stand on the ground and look up at the sky. It seems like a limitless expanse, but it's actually a very thin shell around the Earth. And we're using it as an open sewer. Every single day, we're dumping 110 million tons of man-made global warming pollution into the sky, and that's trapping an enormous amount of heat. There are many sources of the global warming pollution, including agriculture and the burning of croplands and forest land and mining and many other sources of the greenhouse gases. But the most important by far is the burning of fossil fuels, including coal, oil, and gas principally. And because of this rapid buildup of the heat-trapping man-made global warming pollution, we are seeing an incredible increase in temperatures all around the world. For the last few years, we've set records every year. The 16 of the 17 hottest years ever measured with instruments have been since 2001. The hottest of all was last year, the second hottest the year before, the third hottest the year before that. We have seen last year, India set its all-time high temperature record of 51 degrees Celsius. That's 123.8 Fahrenheit. And we saw a tremendous impact on people from heat stress. Now the temperatures are continuing to increase, and most of the heat, though, is going into the oceans and to the depths of the oceans, down to 2,000 meters and below. Half of this increase has occurred in the last 20 years. And when the oceans warm up, that has a lot of consequences. Strong storms, for example, and big rainfalls. A lot of the world's attention was focused on Houston, Texas last summer with that very powerful hurricane. Well, that same week, almost 10 times as many people died in flooding across South Asia. Mumbai, for example, got 50 centimeters over and above what the monsoon brings on average. 1/3 of Bangladesh was underwater that week. And we're seeing the disruption of the water cycle because all that extra heat energy in the ocean is causing the evaporation of a lot more water vapor into the sky. And when the warmer air holds more water vapor and comes over the land, we get these incredible downpours, rain bombs, as some of the scientists are calling them now. For example, Mount Abu in India received 2,116 millimeters of rain over a 5-day period, July 23 through July 27 this year. That's absolutely astounding. That's 7 feet of rain in the other way of measuring it. This community in Gujarat got 800 millimeters in 48 hours. These are extraordinary events. And the same extra heat, of course, that's causing all of that water vapor to go in the sky and fall in these massive downpours is also pulling the moisture out of the soil and making droughts more common, last longer, and go deeper into the ground. Right now in Chennai, we have seen this summer the worst drought experience in that part of Tamil Nadu in at least 140 years. And there have been quite a few very serious droughts in India over the last few years. The reinsurance companies have been keeping close track of these climate-related extreme weather events, and they're literally off the charts now, and it continues to increase. But I want to talk about sea level rise, because the melting of the ice, particularly in Greenland and Antarctica, is accelerating sea level rise. And the top 10 cities at risk, measured by the assets at risk, have both Mumbai and Calcutta on the list. But when you measure the top 10 cities at risk by population, the two cities most at risk in the world from sea level rise are in India, Calcutta and Mumbai. Nearby Bangladesh, Dhaka is also on the list, Guangzhou as well, and throughout Southeast Asia. 20 million people in India are threatened by the sea level rise that would come with a 2-degree increase in temperature. And if the temperatures went up 4 degrees, 55 million people in India would be affected. The climate crisis is also a medical emergency. The Lancet, one of the 2 leading medical journals in the world, has been pointing this out with support from scientists and doctors all over the world. And one reason is that tropical diseases are spreading to new areas. Air travel is a factor, of course, but the expanded ranges for mosquitoes and ticks and other so-called vectors that carry the disease also play a big role. And when you talk about health risk, you have to talk about air pollution. Last month in India, India had to close 4,000 schools because the air pollution levels were 30 times higher than the so-called safe level established by the World Health Organization. A great many cities in India are struggling with very high levels of air pollution, and the number of deaths associated with this phenomena has been increasing. Now, the biologists tell us that in their view, the most serious aspect of the climate crisis is what they call the sixth great extinction, now threatening half of all of the land-based species on Earth with extinction in this century. That is just an incredible tragedy that we have to stop from happening. But when you add all of these tragedies, all of these problems, all of these impacts of the climate crisis together, it's obvious that the cost of the climate crisis is way too high, and it's actually also the number one threat to the global economy. So the answer to that first question, must we change, is clearly yes. What about the second question? Can we change? Here is where India has begun to really inspire the world with the solutions to the climate crisis. We have the solutions at hand now. One of them is wind power. 17 years ago, the best projections were that the world would install 30 gigawatts of wind energy by 2010, but actually we beat that projection by 16 times over. And we've seen the wind energy capacity in India increase quite dramatically in the last few decades. We have seen some of these giant windmills turning quietly and producing massive amounts of electricity. And where solar is concerned, that's where the most excitement is in renewable energy. 15 years ago, the best projections were that the world could install 1 gigawatt per year by 2010. But when 2010 arrived, the world had beat that projection by 17 times over. And last year, that projection was beaten 75 times over. Now, India, particularly since the Paris Agreement, has really made incredible progress. This is an exponential curve that is getting steeper and steeper. And we have now seen contracts for electricity from solar energy this year at 2.62 rupees per kilowatt hour. And when you compare that to what it costs to get electricity from coal, the average is 3.20 rupees per kilowatt hour. So the math is pretty clear. Electricity from the sun is now significantly cheaper than electricity from burning coal in India. And the coal industry is very powerful, of course, and has many friends, but this kind of cost advantage to solar is really making a difference. Renewable energy in India has really been taking off. This is a very inspiring story. So we're seeing India and China on track to exceed their Paris goals. And worldwide, we get as much energy in 1 hour from the sun as the entire global economy needs for a full year. Energy storage is really taking off, and that's important. LED lighting, part of the efficiency revolution. And India has announced that within 13 years, all of the new cars and trucks will have to be electric vehicles. So can we change? Yes. Will we change? Well, thanks to India's leadership and innovation, the entire world reached an agreement in Paris to go to net zero global warming pollution by mid-century. So join those using their voices to fight the climate crisis. Make your voice a voice of reality and fight like your world depends on it, because your world does depend on it.
And now we want to hear from you as the voice of reality. Let's find out what all of you are saying about this important need to protect our climate, and go across to actor and activist Calum Worthy.
Hello, my name is Calum Worthy, and I'm your social media host for 24 Hours of Reality. Now, if you're just joining us, I want to show you something. This is our heat map, and the areas that you see that are lighting up, those are areas where a large number of people are participating on social media with the hashtag 24 Hours of Reality. Now, not only are those people engaging in our incredible social media community for 24 Hours of Reality, but there's also a chance that their posts could be used on the show. And I want to show you an example of what that looks like. Oh, now we have an amazing live Facebook Live broadcast from Terry University in New Delhi. Hello, how's it going? Welcome to the show. Hello. Oh, I love the signs that you got there. Those are fantastic. Now, if you're having a watch party of your own, please tweet us, Instagram us, or post on Facebook using hashtag 24hoursofreality. And there is a chance that your watch party could be featured on our broadcast. Now, looking at some of the social media posts we have, Aaron posted a few moments before we started the India portion of the broadcast saying that they are excited to be hosting a watch party. And here we are, and I'm so excited that you guys are enjoying the show. Next post, we have a wonderful post. We're talking about how everyone needs to go solar. And that is something that we will be discussing further along on the broadcast. We have some more people saying they're super excited to watch the party. Best time of the year. I could not agree more. It's my favorite time of the year. We also have some people that say they just donated to Climate Reality, and they can go to 24hoursofreality.org to learn more. Now, if you want to participate with us and have a chance of being featured on our show, use the hashtag 24hoursofreality on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. And as soon as I'm off this stage, I am online with the producers looking for those posts.
And now for our first guest on this hour, Upendra Tripathi is the Interim Director General of the International Solar Alliance, and he joins us remotely from Mumbai. Upendra, great to have you on this very special platform here. Now, Upendra, let me begin with the mission of International Solar Alliance. For those not familiar with it, how did it come to be, and what are the key objectives?
Well, thank you. In fact, the International Solar Alliance is an innovative experimentation by India and France. On 30th of November 2015, it was launched in the Paris summit of COP21. So far, 46 countries have signed in a span of 2 years. And at Marrakesh, the agreement was open for signature. And as of today, 19 countries have ratified. And I'm happy to announce that tomorrow, that is on 6th of December 2017, the framework agreement comes into force because 15 countries have ratified. We become a legal entity, international, intergovernmental, headquartered in India. And our mandate is very simple. We would like to have a financial investment of $1,000 billion in the solar sector by 2030. It essentially boiled down to 1,000 gigawatt of solar. And to this end, we have 5 areas of activity: innovation, R&D, aggregation of demand and risk, capacity building, and other associated technology application work. And we are on the right track. So far, we have launched 5 programs. Out of that, 3 are almost in action. We have almost more than 15 countries participating. The first program is about replacement of diesel pumps with solar, or solar pumps in off-grid areas. The second program we have got is mobilizing or scaling up solar finance. And the third one is on mini-grids. The 2 programs that are going to come are rooftop in small island countries and other member countries. And the 5th one will be e-mobility and storage.
Right. Upendra, you did mention that you've already got the ratification which was needed because 15 member countries had to ratify it. You had 19. So that deal is done. But tell me about how this will help you accomplish the goal of 1,000 gigawatts by 2030, because that is an ambitious target. What are the kind of milestones you have in mind?
See, we have essentially examined that, most of the countries in their NDCs have mentioned about solar. The way the tariff is coming down, solar is becoming very popular. And the future of solar lies in that it is relatively becoming, getting grid parity. It is becoming cheaper. It is more universal. You can have a distributed generation of solar. And on its own, if you look at the investment that is coming around out of the $250 billion last year in the renewable energy sector, $150 billion has gone to solar. And in many countries, solar is picking up, both in the off-grid areas and the grid-connected areas. So we plan that there are 4 areas that the ISA can address. One is the availability of land in the member countries, and second is the issues of capital. Third is technology, and 4th is manpower. So very systematically, in fact, on 6th of December, that is tomorrow, we have invited officers from 25 member countries who are all assembling in Delhi. And over a period of 10 days, we are developing a solar roadmap for these 25 member countries, addressing the issues of land, labor, capital, and technology. The idea is to aggregate demand. For example, I will give you one example. India wants 100,000 pumps. Uganda wants 30,000 pumps. Bangladesh wants 50,000 pumps. So ISA is taking the aggregation of these demands and planning to issue a price discovery tender, whether the prices can be brought down. The idea is the issues of training the youth in solar technologies, entrepreneurship, startups, innovations. They're very popular with the political leaders, and they're very popular in the society in most of the member countries. So ISA is trying to focus, keeping in view that you need the most critical thing is the capital for this solar sector, and we focus on all the 4 areas that are required. And that is how we plan that by 2030, 1,000 gigawatt can come in.
Right, let's talk about the capital investment, because you talked about, again, a very ambitious figure there of $1,000 billion. But now, how will you raise this in tranches, and how will you raise money on a global investment basis?
Well, as you know, ISA is a platform and it is a collective body. And so far as finance is concerned, we are not a bank, so the idea is not that we get money and disperse. The idea is how do you bring in capital to this sector? We have very clear policy, and we have taken very clear steps. As step 1, we have joint declarations with the World Bank, with the European Investment Bank, with the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development. We are planning to have similar financial understanding or joint declarations with Asian Development Bank, African Development Bank, Inter-American Development Bank, International Islamic Bank. The idea is that we believe that these multilateral banks can actually be champions in getting credit into this sector. How do they do that? Number 1, we believe that with the help of Green Climate Fund and with the help of these multilateral banks and leading countries, we can create a large chunk of risk mitigation funds. These are the funds that will actually leverage capital from the private sector. Number 2, we appeal to these banks that they can earmark a percentage of their credit, say at least 10%, for the solar sector. That will give a very clear roadmap to the industry. Number 3, we believe that a lot more green bonds can be raised in these countries, in the member countries, and we do need to very consciously try to have more green bonds. And number 4, we also request that if money can be raised by these multilateral banks in the domestic currency, for example, in India in rupees, and they can be lent out, so the foreign exchange risk, the hedging risk cost can go down, and that way the cost of capital can be brought down. This is only one way. And the other thing we think is that at least over 10 years, some $300 billion of risk mitigation fund can be created. And for each dollar of money that you invest in risk mitigation, 10 times that money comes into the solar sector. Sounds a little crazy, talking about $300 billion. But if you think that we have $78 trillion economy in the world, and over a period of 10 years, given the benefits, such risk mitigation funds have to be done, and that is a necessity. And that is what ISA is planning in a financial plane, to mobilize the support of all financial actors and create mechanisms so that money is leveraged from the private market into the solar sector.
So we have to aim high. And on that point, Upendra, talk about how you convince all the decision makers on solar, as well as the energy policy of India, to understand that investing in solar is actually strengthening Indian economy.
Well, in fact, if you look at the Indian policymakers, the very fact that they have taken the lead in creating the International Solar Alliance. In fact, the other day, the Honorable Minister, Indian Minister for Power, stated that it is not 175,000 gigawatt that he's aiming at by 2022. He actually wants to exceed that to 200 gigawatt, and that itself shows the commitment of the Indian policymakers. And the Indian Prime Minister, has been playing a very important role in the field of renewables, because he says that even if the Indian economy doesn't directly benefit from exporting of these products, for the sake of climate, India must commit itself to renewable energy. And it's very good that the cost of renewable energy, as Mr. Al Gore said, has come down to below grid parity, which is a very good thing. And given this, it is a win-win thing for India. It creates more employment, it gets more investment, and it is also good for the environment. So given this win-win-win scenario, the Indian policymakers have been quite committed to this scenario of enhancing the capacity of renewable energy in India.
And there's an overarching social objective to this as well. So we've discussed the economic aspect, but Upendra, solar could be the means through which India manages to give out power to the millions of poor, millions of the rural population who still don't have access to this basic facility.
You are right. In fact, if you talk about the villages, still there are 18,000 villages in India which hadn't got access to electricity, and that was a year back. By November 2019, the Indian government has promised that all the villages in India will be electrified, and 3,000 of these 18,000 villages will be electrified through renewables, mostly solar. But the problem comes, suppose I give you an example of a village. Even if the village is electrified, the number of people who actually have access to electricity is around 7%. So in a country like India, and similarly in other countries, the definition of electrified village doesn't ensure that there is 100% access of people to electricity itself. And that requires a second policy revolution where you actually bring in the purchase power within the population so that they can access to the grid nearby, or they can go to a distributed form of energy, which is also becoming quite popular. So given the size of India and the huge population which still has to access to energy and electricity particularly, it is a challenge, but they are on the right track. The way solar is catching up in terms of home lighting systems, solar street lighting systems, it is really becoming very attractive and very noticeable. I had been to an island, Sundarbans, where solar street lights, solar lighting in schools has really created a sort of revolution in an area when there is no electric grid still present.
Right, and there are lots of hospitality projects and resorts as well using that as a USP of theirs. But Upendra, just talk a little bit about the diversity of India and how you will fit a solar financial architecture within that. Because we spoke about the size and scale and the different needs that India is tackling with. So the financial framework, does it manage residential, commercial? What kind of project gets the focus?
Well, if you look at India, in fact, the first experiment India did was something called the Renewable Energy Invest in 2015. And two unique things happened at that point of time. First one, they called the corporate sector and took some commitments in writing as to how much that particular industry was trying to install in India in terms of capacity, in terms of megawatt. And in Reinvest 2015, some 477 companies came and they revealed their preferences for installing a total of 277,000 megawatt. And that shows if you give freedom to these companies and the banks provide the loan component, then renewable energy alone can come up to 300,000 megawatt in India.
Upendra, amazing opportunities there, and thank you so very much for joining us with those insights. I know we can carry on this conversation, but we are running tight on this 24-hour of reality show. Each hour, we have individuals or groups taking action at the personal, business, community, or political levels and having a real impact. Right now, let's explore what can happen when an entire nation commits to using electric cars. Join us on the road forward.
So, where are we going today?
Let's go for breakfast.
We were looking for a long distance vehicle, and at the showroom we saw this cute little car and we thought, let's check it out.
I mean, we were looking to our cousins, uncles, koi to bolo we should buy, then we'll buy it.
What India is doing is something very different. we are introducing electric vehicles in a very big way. And the idea is that by 2030, not a single petrol or diesel car should be sold in the country.
India is taking very large steps. It's very ambitious to even aim for 100% conversion by 2030, but if it is possible, it will be a big step forward. For Mahindra, the electric vehicle has been a labor of love, actually. We got into this more than 10 years ago, at a time when the conversation on electric vehicles had really not picked up. Today, it's almost being touted as the only way forward for transportation in the world, and are now in a position to bring out cars which will be very attractive for the consumer.
They always say in Hindi, सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग, and despite everyone saying no, we just bought the car. We learned so much about the car. The body panels are polycarbonate, no paint. The factory is run on solar power.
It was the kind of vehicle that would fit into our lifestyle and would be the philosophy that we hold so true, which is clean, green and responsible.
We stand at a signal, all the cars around us are spewing out exhaust, and we feel, oh my God, here we are, not polluting at all.
For a change, we don't mind being stuck in traffic.
Yeah, we were pretty impressed.
India is in a fantastic space. We know that development has to come to people who have not seen it yet, and we also know that it has to come in a manner in which the whole earth is not put at risk.
Let's have something healthy.
मैं तो नहीं डोसा लूँगा। ऐसा नहीं है, ये बैटरी पे चलता है।
अच्छा। और इसको पेट्रोल डीजल का जरूरत नहीं?
नहीं, बिना पेट्रोल डीजल 100 किलोमीटर जाएगा बिना एक चार्ज।
और बिजली का तो ज़्यादा बिल आता है?
नहीं, बिजली का बहुत कम बिल है। ये अपने को 50 रुपये में 100 किलोमीटर जाता है।
50 रुपये में?
हाँ, 10 यूनिट।
तो डेली चार्ज करना पड़ेगा?
डेली हम लोग नहीं करते, लेकिन हम लोग कर लेते हैं, लेकिन कोई लोग 2-2, 3-3 दिन से करते हैं। हाँ, लंबा जाना है तो फुल चार्ज कर देते हैं। अभी धीमे-धीमे आ रहा है। All right,
Can we go in?
Yep.
Because of the vehicle, we have met such like-minded people. Yeah. We went ahead and found a community who drives electric in India, and you will be surprised that there are many.
Plug-in India is basically kind of community. We started as a little group. Electric vehicles are definitely a very big part of it, and educating people around you, and kind of build that awareness. We have several activities that we do to promote the electric mobility in India. One activity we often engage in is to organize rallies of the electric vehicle owners. We contact businesses, we contact interested people, and we set up the charging stations on the way. And what we call that is like electrification of that highway. The green points are the points created by Plug-in India, and the red points are the points provided by other people. And if you click on the charging point, you can get the whole information about that charging point, like who is in charge, the phone number, how much is the cost.
Yeah.
And just by clicking a button, you can directly go to Google Maps directions to the charging point.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah.
That is exactly what we need, near charging points and air conditioning.
Yeah.
Even when we originally bought the car, and even today, we have that occasional anxious moment, oh my God, will we be able to make it? With charging points coming up, which I hope will be open to all, will definitely mitigate that range anxiety. But we have found that we really didn't need to worry about the range so much. 60 kilometers is great for a city like Mumbai.
As a nation, some of the steps that are being taken are very praiseworthy. The goal of wanting to be 40% renewable energy by 2030 is actually a huge goal for India, because by 2030 we will probably be generating 2 to 3 times more electricity than we are now. We are seeing a situation where the population of vehicles on road in India will continue to increase. It actually gives us an opportunity, because the moment at which we have a value proposition of an electric car which starts beating that of a conventional car, not just in terms of cost, but also in terms of the way it looks, the way it feels, that's when I think the uptake will really take off. And the best news that we get is that we are actually on track to reach there. It will also help us in reducing the specific carbon footprint by 33 to 35%, which is there in the INDC goals. So it's one single measure that will make a huge difference.
The reason we started doing a lot of activities using Plug-in India as a forum because we found that a lot of people have interest, but they need a little bit of a hand-holding.
Hi Abhishek. Hi. I can do this. This is a passion for me. And so we started joining hands with people. We're all banging our heads trying to figure out how to make this sustainable. We love you coming and parking and charging. Come, let's have a cup of tea or coffee. Okay. Definitely think about an EV. We have to pick up pace. That sense of urgency has to come in. Do what we can, make a small change, but make it in your own personal life. And if everyone does a simple thing like changing to LEDs or buying EVs, it will make a massive change.
These are the voices of change, the voices of the future, the voices of reality.
The United Nations Environment Assembly is the world's highest level environmental forum, attended by heads of state, environment ministers, CEOs of multinational companies, astronauts, NASA scientists, NGOs, environmental activists, celebrities, and more to discuss and make global commitments to environmental protection. Cosmonaut Rakesh Sharma, a former pilot for the Indian Air Force and the first Indian to travel in outer space, is there now with other astronauts and space experts to urge governments to take climate action. He joins us from Nairobi via satellite. Thank you so much for joining us, Rakesh, on this unique platform. Rakesh, as an astronaut, you're part of this rare group of people who are fortunate enough to look at this fragile atmosphere and our Earth in a way that few people ever will. Now, how did your role as an astronaut play in your tackling the climate crisis? Was there a defining moment, a special mission that spurred you into action?
Well, like everybody else, when one goes up into space, and mine was in 1984, a near-Earth orbit mission. One does look down at one's own country, and after some time, one also begins to realize the fact that it's a very hostile environment, space is, and to exist out there, we have to carry our atmosphere with us, and the Earth itself is located in an area where there's nothing for miles and miles around. So during that flight, so this was one aspect of it, the very fragility of our planet Earth and its environment, because it's suspended out there in that environment. And secondly, what came through during my flight, and I had observed a forest fire in Burma, now Myanmar. And while I was watching that, it was evident that the plume of smoke had come up to very high altitudes, and with the upper air circulation had started crossing borders and was all the way, the plume was all the way up to Indonesia. So this, brought home the fact that pollution is no respecter of boundaries, that our environment is all interconnected. So a local event can have a global ramification. So that is what came through, and it kind of impacted greatly. And then upon the return, when one saw the kind of manufacturing that was going on, the effluents which were mixing with our river systems, both in the urban and the rural sectors, obviously it became very obvious that this kind of degradation cannot really carry on for very long.
But this concept of global responsibility that you speak of, Rakesh, you've also joined this panel of astronauts and cosmonauts like yourself, NASA scientists, urging governments globally to take action. Do you feel, given your unique journey, they are willing to listen more?
Well, it's like this. Yes, we all belong to the Association of Space Explorers, and environmental concerns are particularly close to our heart, and we are all working together to build awareness and build consensus in our own small way. But personally, given the fact that I'm coming from, and I live in the developing geography, what concerns me really is how are we going to modify and slow down the aspirations of the people, because the lifestyles which have been lived by developed societies thus far have brought us to where we are. And now with developing economies coming up, the people are going to be enabled monetarily to be able to buy more consumer items, and this is going to really go through the roof. And any political leader who now tries to curb the, I would say, the aspirations of his people by putting limitations, etc., is going to have a problem. So what really needs to be done is I believe, you need a multi-pronged approach. On the one hand, of course, we need to educate our people that what is sustainable living, and if you don't do that, what will be the environmental impact? Now, if you just look at the combined populations of India and China, and if you look at the consumerist culture which has already taken root in these geographies, we are in for a bit of a problem, I would say.
Right. Rakesh, you are speaking to us from Nairobi, where you're attending the UN Environmental Assembly. Can you talk about how you're working with the United Nations to tackle climate crisis?
Well, out here, every aspect is being discussed, and I myself have taken part in 2 or 3 chat sessions, and I think it's a great opportunity for experts from various fields to come together and share their experiences, and together hammer out strategies as we see which are going to be relevant to places where we come from. And that has been quite an eye-opener for me personally. And I get the feeling that together we can make a difference. But if we stay in our individual silos and do our individual thing, then it's not good news for the planet. We don't have much time.
Don't have much time, and spoken from a cosmonaut whose famous line, "Sare jahan se acha Hindustan hamara," spoken when the Prime Minister asked you about what India looks like from outer space, is remembered by generations of Indians. Thanks so much, Rakesh. Hopefully India keeps on spearheading that fight against climate change. And now let's head back over to Calum Worthy to see what you've been saying.
Welcome back to the Social Media Corner. Now, I asked you earlier to use social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook with the hashtag 24 Hours of Reality. And can I just say, you guys are amazing. These posts that we have are unbelievable. Now, I want to show you some of them. And are you ready for a cuteness overload? The mother of this girl sent us an Instagram message saying that she's watching 24 Hours of Reality because she wants to make sure that her daughter can enjoy the beautiful planet that we have today. I'm assuming she fell asleep watching 24 Hours of Reality, but I don't know that for sure. Now, we have some really fun watch parties as well. ASN School is watching in Delhi. We also have Carol posted a photo with her and her friends who are watching at school. There's also some people who've been staying up for a long time. We've all been here for the entire broadcast, and we also have some people watching who have been staying up for the entire broadcast as well. So if you guys have been staying up and watching it for the many hours at a time, please let us know. We are in this with you. We also have a girl named Rora's Child, and she said that she is studying at 1:51 a.m., but she is also watching as well. You may be tired tomorrow, but trust me, it is well worth it. So please, we want to continue seeing these amazing social media posts. And we also want to see you watching 24 Hours of Reality. So if you want to take a selfie, or if you want to post a photo of the watch party that you're at, please send us those photos with the hashtag 24 Hours of Reality on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And there's a chance they could come up on this board.
And now, Nailan Lal Kidwai is chairman of Max Financial Services and former president of the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. And she joins us from Delhi via satellite. Thank you, Ms. Kidwai, for joining us. Let me begin with the messaging that the Indian business community has around green solutions and the need for businesses to tackle climate change.
So we at Speaking for Industry are really quite cognizant of the issues. Large industry gets it. There's a huge amount of regulation around it. The issue often is how do we get the small-scale sectors and the mid-sized companies to follow suit where the regulations are not easy to adhere to. Specifically, energy efficiency is something which everyone wants because it saves costs of energy. So that's a win-win. But in order to put in the energy efficiency equipments, it requires some support, some help. And I think the direction has to be that we help our small-scale sector, even as large industry gets it and, in fact, embraces what are world-class standards.
And how does consumerism play a role in this responsibility that businesses have to take on in India for this message of sustainability and the need to tackle the climate crisis?
So consumers are key. If you look at what happened in India with air conditioners, when a star rating system showed consumers which were the energy efficient ACs and which were less so, the market moved very quickly to the energy efficient air conditioners, even though they were at a small premium to the not so efficient ones. So by giving customers choice and informing them, they very quickly get the math that an energy efficient air conditioner is cheaper to run in the long run, and they're prepared to pay for the premium. And in fact, then the market moves to energy efficient air conditioners and the price moves down for everyone. So customers play a very key role. We've had a second very interesting experiment in India around LED bulbs, where the government entered the program through a government large procurement of LED bulbs and distributed them as highly subsidized bulbs through the distribution companies, the electric distribution companies, interestingly, who should be the ones that want us to use more electricity, but they were roped in to do this. And as a result, customers moved to LED bulbs. It drove the price of LED bulbs in the market down. And now customers are continuing to buy LED bulbs, which prices are therefore maintained at lower levels and indeed therefore bring energy efficiency into a power-starved country like ours. So government procurement and customer action can play a very big role in right actions.
That's a great example of the global, the government intervention in India. But can you talk a little bit more about economically how the Indian government can tackle climate crisis? Is there a bigger message where they can economically change the direction of what we are facing?
Well, if you look at the whole solar energy focus of our government, a big announcement, very ambitious, 175 gigawatts of renewable is the plan till in the next 3 to 4 years. And this is ambitious to say the least. But by putting that ask out there and encouraging renewables and therefore ensuring that India's growth in electricity happens in a meaningful way in renewables, India's commitment there is very critical. The role of government, therefore, is key in enabling renewable energy to come in. In order to do this, our distribution companies and the technologies therein have to be such that can absorb this renewable energy. So that's very critical for us as well. And at the end of the day, I think coming back to the consumer, this is the right time. It's the right time for us because pollution is in everyone's mind. We sit in beautiful cities like Delhi today worrying about pollution levels. So individual citizens and therefore politicians' engagement around the issue of pollution is an all-time high. So everything to do with climate change feeds into pollution. Our cars, how efficient are they? And there, India is therefore now mandated. It'll move from BS4, Euro 4 equivalent to Euro 6, for which fuel is to be made readily available in the next 3 years. So we will jump a generation of cars to far more fuel-efficient cars in the next 3 to 5 years. India has had to look at its building regulations to ensure that building, which are a big polluter in the urban environment, are more compliant in terms of their standards. And of course, urban structures of our cities. The New Climate Economy, which has done excellent research in this area, points to cities being compact, connected and coordinated, which means the entire system of transportation, public transportation in a city has to be looked at, that people work closer to where they live and that public transport systems are efficient so people aren't bringing individual cars in to work and out of work. So urban planning is going to have to play a very key role in this as well. So the peg is not climate change. The peg are the real burning issues of today, like pollution, like water, which feed into the important subject of climate change. But subjects, water, pollution, which have a lot more resonance with individuals, with citizens, with politicians, and with those that can drive the change.
Right, the climate crisis is far more wide-reaching than a simplistic explanation. But Naina Lal Kidwai, somehow there is this belief that larger businesses with deeper pockets can invest in tackling the climate crisis, but smaller businesses are, for some reason, projected to have this false dichotomy of not being able to bolster their bottom line while getting a message for sustainability across. Can you do something, or is your organization doing something to change that messaging?
Well, in fact, at the Chamber of Industry,
right. Apologies for that. We had a little bit of a technical issue coming in on a satellite from Delhi, but getting those excellent insights from Naina Lal Kidwai. Over the last hour, we've spent time getting to know some of the challenges faced by the people of India and the many ways people are taking action towards a more sustainable future. Remember, the most powerful warrior in the fight against the climate crisis is you. There are many ways we can make a difference in our politics, in our communities, in our businesses, and in our own lives. Go to 24hoursofreality.org to get your climate action kit, and you'll find tips on how to speak out on social media and other ways you can be the voice of reality.
देख लूं जी भर के तुझे, ये दिल मेरा मुझसे कहे, रोशनी जब तुझ पे गिरे, तेरे सिवा